I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep. Because I'd miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing.
You know, even if I dream of you,
The sweetest dream will never do.
never suffice to
I
say.
miss you, baby. I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to miss one smile. I don't want to miss one kiss. I just want to be with you right here with you. Just like this.
like this.
Welcome to Rippin' and Skippin' with Evan and Kevin. It's a lovely, balmy 87 degrees in North Hollywood. I'm sitting on the couch with Evan Cassidy. Of course, I'm Kevin Tinkin.
That you are, my friend.
Are you ready to rip?
I'm ready to rip skip on a flip-flop.
Rip, dip, dip-a-doop, dip-a-dee-doop-a-boo. Guys, I'm so stoked about the riffs that are about to come off the crest of this wave, which is Ripping and Skipping with Evan and Kevin. This is episode 3. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I want to hold it in my arms. I want to hug it a little too tight.
Not a side hug for this podcast.
Yeah.
Most podcasts they barely give you a side hug. Like they don't want to. Like,
Gotta leave room for the Holy Spirit.
I have to touch this guy. Okay.
No, we're gonna give you a full frontal, hip bone to hip bone. Bring it in tight, cause it's going down tonight.
I'm gonna break your ribs, man.
I'm gonna break your ribs. I love you so much. Oh man. So what do? You know, when you have a podcast that has been successful as our podcast has been up to this point. And
God.
It's always been a hard thing for me to accept compliments. But when the president of the United States calls and is like, this is the best podcast I've ever heard, recommends it to the next, where they said, you know, regardless of my policies and the way that I've led in the White House up to this point, you know, be free to do what you want, but if you don't listen to Rippin' and Skippin' with Evan and Kevin,
It is imperative that
you gotta rip.
You know, there's some people out there, they're not ripping.
I say, you gotta rip if you're gonna skip. You gotta flip flop on a skip skip. I can't do it.
You know, we're gonna tell the terrorists, stop ripping.
Stop tripping.
Stop tripping and start double dipping.
We're gonna build a wall. I can't do anything. I can't do it.
You can. Yeah, you can, man.
You know, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a wall, and the Mexicans are gonna pay for it. Okay?
I think it's a burn of that. You listen to Rippin' and Skippin' with Evan and Kevin. I'm gonna give you free everything. Any podcast that isn't ripping and skipping is terrible.
You know, I've been building beautiful buildings my whole life. And if Rippin' and Skippin' isn't a beautiful building, I don't know what it is. I want to build a wall around this podcast. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get Mark Maron to pay for it.
Pow! I just shit my pants.
It's that old stuff, man.
Those early ripping and skipping episodes, man. I mean, those were the times.
Those were the times, man. Dude. Oh, man. Did you hear the wind? Do you hear it? From the backs of bald eagles.
The whistle. Free. The whistle of the wind. You guys are the wind beneath our wings.
Proverbial.
Band on the run.
Band on the run. Dude, you know what? I can't remember. What was it? Live and Let Die with the cannons? I forgot about that.
Live and Let Die. Bow, bow. No joke. As a kid, my mother had like 5 CDs in her car, and one of them was Paul McCartney Greatest Hits. I think it was solo stuff and Wings.
I want to believe you, but you said no joke at the beginning, and that makes me think that this is a joke.
Well, no joke.
No jokes.
Not no joke.
Oh, no joke? It feels so good.
There's a lot more freedom, I feel like, in these intros. I feel like we're becoming like an egalitarian society level of free.
Mm-hmm. I'm living life of my own volition right now.
Ripping and skipping it's a utopia.
It's a utopia. So, hey, speaking of creating a utopia, how can you get better as a person, Evan? What's one thing? Let's say you're feeling a little down. You know, maybe you're a little blue, and I don't mean you're a comedian that curses on stage.
You
I mean
my balls.
I mean you get a little down in the dumps, and I don't mean
The
dumpers. I mean down in the dumps. You get a little bummed out. What are you gonna do?
I'll get bummed out.
You get bummed out. What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean that's honestly. I mean, this is not something to take lightly. This is kind of serious. I mean,
Put on a back brace. This is heavy stuff.
sometimes you got to go talk to someone who's a professional. Who it never hurts to get input, to get insight from a professional.
You had a friend who's going through therapy right now, right?
Oh God, yeah.
And was kind enough to say, you know what? I'm gonna make the world better by sharing my difficulties with the world. He shared his therapy session with us, and we wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, my friend Barry.
Yeah, Barry. Yeah, and he's seen, a lot of neuroses, but it's just the fact that he is able to be as trusting as he is with the audience with this kind of tender stuff.
Yeah.
Is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So he's a fully developed human being. I mean, should we just throw to it right now?
Sure. I mean,
do you have any words to say? I mean,
well, the type of therapist is, I mean, I think it's a traditional type of therapy, but a sort of non-traditional approach. I mean, do we want to just get into it, or do we want to? Where's he from? Because he has an accent, and I mean, it'll maybe be addressed.
I mean, based on what I know about this guy, I'm pretty sure he's from like New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that. I mean, you don't want to stereotype.
Yeah, it
based on
sounds kind of Cajun.
It sounds a little Cajun, a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Cajun therapist and Barry, laying it out on the line. Guys, enjoy this. Take notes.
Enjoy.
Learn something about yourself.
Just take a deep breath. This is gonna be okay. It's just gonna help you. He's gonna help you with your problems. He's gonna help you become a stronger guy. Hi.
Go ahead and take a seat right over there.
Right here.
Barry, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Barry, you look a little bit distressed.
Yes, that's sort of why I'm coming here, is I'm generally a little distressed.
Talk about distress.
Well, it's just sort of not feeling free to express certain sentiments. I get very intimidated by people, talking to people in general. I don't like talking to people. I'd rather not talk to people.
Would you call it a generalized anxiety?
Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I have anxieties, many anxieties.
Barry, sometimes you take a life and life will give you all kinds of junk. Sometimes you walking down the street and you think, I'm just walking to my job right now. But part of you, way deep down inside of yourself, you feel like you're being attacked by a wild mountain lion.
Yeah, wild mountain lion sounds about right.
You know what you gotta do, Barry? You gotta take all those problems. You gotta throw them in the pot of jambalaya. You know what jambalaya is, Barry?
No, I do not.
Barry, when you make good jambalaya, you go in the kitchen, you grab yourself some sausages, you grab yourself some potatoes, you go get yourself some salt and some pepper, and you go throw it all in the pot. Now, Barry, when you look at a pot of jambalaya, you don't see a carrot, you don't see a shrimp, you ain't gonna see individual pieces of sausage. You just gonna see a jambalaya.
You're telling me to put my problems in a pot?
Exactly.
And mix them with spices?
When you look at a big old pot of jambalaya, Barry.
I've never looked at a big old pot of jambalaya.
Well, let me tell you, Barry. When you look at a big old pot of jambalaya, you get excited. You see, you about to eat that big old jambalaya. And the Barry, don't be scared when you throw your problems in there, because they're going to cook out overnight and get nice and soft. And Barry, you going to sink your teeth deep in a pot of jambalaya. You going to take those problems, you put them in the jambalaya.
So you're telling me to actually eat jambalaya?
Barry, it's a metaphor for your problems.
Oh, okay.
Whoever human being is basically a pot of jambalaya. You putting your anxieties in there. You're going to put your happiness in there. You're going to take your sadness and put it in there. You're going to take your marriage and put it in there. You're going to take your relationship with your animals and put them in there. You're going to take your memories of childhood and put them in there. You're going to take your church memories and put them in there. You're going to take your first kiss and put it in there.
Well, that's a lot of ingredients.
You're going to take your first communion and put it in there. You're going to take the first time you shave your legs and put them in there. And you look at this. It's a pot of jambalaya. And it's a good jambalaya.
Well, that's actually a problem, is that I do not have a memory of a first kiss.
Every once in a while, you gotta go to the store to find yourself some jambalaya. Every once in a while, look, I'll say, there are no more carrots from this jambalaya in my refrigerator. I got to go down to the store and get me a whole bunch of carrots. And I'm gonna throw them in the jambalaya. And it's still a good jambalaya. It ain't gonna be no bad jambalaya just because I ain't got no carrots.
Okay.
You ain't got no first kiss, Barry?
Not that I recall.
I tell you what. You got a girl on your mind?
Several.
You go ahead and you grab that phone. Go ahead and give her a call right now.
Well, that's the thing, is I don't have a girl's number. Certainly not one that I have on my mind.
You ever heard of OK Cupid, Barry?
Yes, it's an application for dating.
Now, Barry, you ever fill out a profile on OkCupid?
Not yet. I'm skeptical of.
Oh,
These-
no, Barry. You gotta take those skepticisms. You know where to put those skepticisms, Barry?
In the pot of jambalaya.
Well, that's right, Barry.
Okay.
You gonna put those skepticisms in there. You put that anxiety in there. We're gonna put a lot of hot sauce in there, Barry. You ain't never gonna see those anxieties never again. I'll tell you what, Barry, go ahead. Go ahead, pick up that phone.
Okay.
Go ahead, fill it out. Throw your personality out there on the interweb. You know, dating profiles out on the internet was basically like ingredients in a jambalaya.
Oh yeah.
You know, you got some carrot folks. You got some pea folks. You got some sausage folk. You got some pepper folk. You got some salt folk. You got some hot sauce folk. You got some pig folk. You know, and they all in the jambalaya. And you know, you look at that jambalaya. You say, that's a good jambalaya right there. And boy, you gonna want to eat up. What you got, Barry? You got a profile there, Barry?
Oh, I mean, it's like 100 questions. I mean,
Tell me about Barry, tell me about what makes your jambalaya this particular flavor.
my particular flavor of jambalaya, well, it would probably be dry. I'm not a big fan of soup or really liquid food. I'd rather there not be wetness in my jambalaya.
Well, now, when it come down to dating, Evan, you're going to have a little bit of wetness.
Yes, hopefully.
You know, Barry, don't be scared about wanting a dry jambalaya. You know, you got to just embrace your jambalaya, whatever the flavor it is. That's your jambalaya.
Yes.
You don't go to a backyard party or a bris. You don't go to a birthday celebration and you bring your jambalaya in and you say, oh, no, this is not very good jambalaya. You say, this is Barry's jambalaya. And you hand it over to the host of the party and you say, go ahead and eat it up. That's me in there. Well, that's me in there.
So I should be giving people my jambalaya.
Barry, you gotta be your own jambalaya. You can't just give people your jambalaya. You gotta take time to appreciate you happen to be a dry jambalaya.
Well, I think that's maybe the problem is I am a dry jambalaya, and I'd like to. Doesn't seem like people really like dry jambalaya. I mean, what do I do if I serve them dry jambalaya and they want wet jambalaya? I mean,
You know, sometimes you gotta go down the store. You gotta pick yourself up a can of tomatoes and throw it in the jambalaya. You gotta throw a couple of cups of water on the jambalaya. Now, metaphorically speaking, it's kind of slight editing on your own life. You're just fine. You know, I personally like a hot, spicy jambalaya, but that's just me. Let me tell you,
spicy food tends to upset my stomach, and I really also I don't like the sound when people slurp soup. It really gets on my nerves.
now let me ask you a question now. Barry, if somebody slurping that soup, what you gonna do? What's the worst thing that happen when somebody slurping the soup?
I mean, slurping the soup is the worst thing.
I mean, but what's gonna happen when somebody slurping soup around you?
It's just like it gets in my ears, and it's like my brain could just freeze hearing that. I hate.
What would happen if your brain freezes, Barry?
Well, I'd stop thinking things.
Now, what would happen if you stopped thinking, Barry?
I mean, my perceptions of space-time would cease to be.
Now, that's right. Now, is that so bad?
Well, I mean, it's not desirable from a perspective of someone wanting to continue to exist.
Now, sometimes you could take that thought and you could hold it. And it's like putting just one potato in the jambalaya. Nobody wants just one potato in the jambalaya. A jambalaya is a jambalaya because a jambalaya has got multiple flavors. And you focusing right now on just on the potato.
I do like potatoes.
Well, now that's just great.
In fact, if my jambalaya could have extra potatoes, less tomatoes, extra... I mean, even the thought of just making the ingredients for the jambalaya is stressing me out, to be honest.
Now, don't get all stressed out over the ingredients of jambalaya. You gotta remember, Barry, this is just a metaphor.
Okay.
Here's what I'm saying to you, Barry. Sometimes you look at a jambalaya and you dip your finger in. And you pull the finger out of the jambalaya and you take a little taste on the tip of your tongue. And sometimes you say, woo-hoo-hoo, that's a good jambalaya. But sometimes you say, oh, that jambalaya needs some extra stuff. And maybe you need a couple extra spices. Don't be afraid. Throw a little OK Cupid in the jambalaya.
Okay.
Put yourself out there.
Put myself out there.
I tell you, you take one small step towards being a little more spicy jambalaya, and you're going to be happy with yourself.
Okay.
Can I get your agreement on this here, Barry?
Okay.
So next week, I want you to come back. I want to hear about 4 experiences you had on OK Cupid, okay?
That seems like a lot.
Barry, I believe in you.
Thank you.
Barry, one day your jambalaya is going to be as good as the next jambalaya. And people going to say this is the best jambalaya I ever had.
Oh, I hope you're correct.
Oh, I know I'm correct. I'm going to give you a big blue ribbon on your jambalaya when I'm finished with you.
Okay, thank you.
Barry, make sure you get a check out to my secretariat on your way out.
Okay, I will. All right, thank you for the help.
Jumbler, bye-bye.
Yes. Yes, Jumble. Yes, Jumble. Bye-bye.
Yo, Barry, you have a good day.
Okay, yeah, Jumbler, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Bye. Want to get me some of that jambalaya?
I mean, it's like taking a ladle full of wisdom and dipping it out on your plate, and getting some French bread.
My palate is just
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah, I was salivating emotionally. As I was listening because of all the healing that was happening.
It was helpful. I mean, I feel like I just had a therapy session. It's like free therapy.
Free therapy is right.
We're healing people with this podcast.
Yeah, it feels good. It's nice. You ever go to therapy?
Oh, yeah.
I went to therapy a little bit.
A bunch.
It was hilarious.
Well, I'd say a healthy amount for a... Not as hilarious as a jambalaya therapist.
No, dude, can you imagine if you walked in and that was really happening? That would be so intense. That would be so intense. I would be like, you know what? This guy has a lot of good things to say, and this is entertaining at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would have been more effective than the actual therapy that I went to.
Yeah, well, I mean, this jambalaya guy is the real deal.
He's a real deal. Guys, if you want, feel free to hit him up on his email, ripskippod@gmail.com. You want to schedule a therapy session with a Jambalaya therapist?
Yeah, I mean, we do podcasting. We also do therapy referral, you know?
Yeah, I get 12%.
You get 12%?
Yeah, for every person I send over.
I
It seems wrong.
know.
It doesn't seem ethical.
But we're Renaissance men.
What are you going to do?
We're Renaissance guys.
I refer people to go, get Comcast cable. I get a discount. Why wouldn't I do that for something that would help their lives? But, it's a
Not a lot of
society.
Not a lot of podcasts are trying to heal people.
This is true. Most of these podcasts,
They don't give a shit.
they don't give a shit about you. Let's be honest. You listen to another podcast, they don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
They probably don't even like you.
Yeah. I mean, we like you.
We like you. It's almost inappropriate.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to dial back to on you guys. We
Yeah.
ever like, oh, okay, we want to get to.
Look, here's the deal. If we see in public, know that I'm freaking out on the inside, but I'll try to keep it cool and collected on the outside, but it's going to be hard. It's like if you, if you see, like Michael Jackson on the street, who's been dead for a while, like whoa, you know what I mean? Like you would freak like, just freaking Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But I would, you'd like, dude, be cool. Like, act like you've been here before. Act like you've seen a reanimated corpse of Michael Jackson on the streets of Burbank before.
I mean, I've seen a few that look like him. Let me tell you.
Yikes. Easy on the powder, ma'am. The life's coming out of your cheeks. I can't tell what's skin and what isn't.
Clean the moon rocks off your face, lady.
Yikes. Oh, man. So many good references today.
Could you believe they found a man on the moon?
A man on the moon.
What a better reference than an REM reference.
Yeah.
Probably a lot.
Hurts. I wonder, do we have to pay for these when we just sing them real bad?
I think they have to pay us.
They have to pay us.
I think so.
I'll get old Mikey Stipes on the phone.
He'll give us a stipend. A Michael stipend.
The wordplay is strong with this one.
Wordplay lives strong.
Like Donald Armstrong. What's his name?
Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, not Jonald.
Donald Armstrong?
Yeah, are you
that
sure?
was the German cyclist.
Hello, my name is Donald Armstrong. I am here to be racing the bicycles. Does somebody have my numbers? I dropped my numbers, my safety pin on my bicycle riding shirt. It came undone. It's Donald Armstrong. Does anybody have Donald Armstrong's numbers? Please, somebody. I believe it's on the floor.
If anybody does have Donald Armstrong's numbers, you can send them to ripskippod
at gmail.com. Come on down. Free subject lines for the kids.
Be free with your subject lines, yeah.
Yeah, put them up there. You guys, and again, man, you ever feel like a broken record? You got a crack,
At my core, bro.
Rate and review this
Please.
dang podcast, guys. I think we're up to 75,000?
Mm-hmm.
Don't act like 75,001 won't matter to us.
Yeah.
It will matter. Please, put it out there.
We memorized all 75,000 names.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're an attractive single young lady and you're interested in the cast, man, hit him up on ripskippod@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Hit on him in the review. Let's do this. This guy, he likes him, and he likes him a lot. And I'm talking about the ladies.
I do all my dating through my podcast reviews. I don't know about everybody else out there.
I met my wife on a Yoo-hoo question thread.
A Yoo-hoo?
Yeah, I was online trying to get some questions answered about Yoo-hoo, the delicious chocolate drink. And my wife was on there also and was like, I was also wondering if this is all natural. And I was like, huh.
The answer is no.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's actually it's anti-natural. If you put it on a piece of grass, it'll turn into a factory in 30 minutes.
Anti-nature?
Yeah.
Sounds radioactive.
That's my new ska band. Anti-nature.
Anti-nature. Pick it up. Do you want to start a ska band
No.
for Christmas?
We did say it would rise again on the third podcast.
On the third podcast, it rose again.
It's true. It felt forced, I'll be honest.
Well,
You see me trying to knock you off your Eagles back right now?
I feel gravity as I fall.
That was not very rip or very skip of me, and I apologize.
But you know what?
I wasn't double dipping at all. I was tripping, and I apologize.
You were tripping, but you know that happens, man.
It does happen. Man, hey, we're freedom with a timer, bro.
Well, I mean, it's important to maybe note this, like, 'cause, I mean, we leave on this, but what can you do when you're tripping? You know, how can one deal with tripping?
But remember, if you're tripping, stop tripping and start double dipping. Peace out, brothers and sisters.
Later.